So we've looked at how the government was manipulating the citizen, and we have seen that the government was not for the people, but for the rich. And all this, we find that all this was paid for out of oil revenue. Remember we said Iran is rich in oil, and that is their backbone of the economy. So therefore, it had increased from $34 million in 1955 to $20 billion in 1975-76, because the government had become extravagant. They are using any man that can to put in the military, to put in useless things like monuments and the like. And therefore, Iran was unquestionably a wealthy country, but the majority of the population experienced very modest, if any, improvement to their standard of living, and therefore they were not comfortable. They were not contented with this kind of leadership. So after 1953, the Shah made sure that the cabinet and the parliament were packed with individuals agreeable to him. What does that mean? In other words, he became also a dictator, because he made sure that those people who are in parliament, they are those people who are ready to say yes to his leadership. Those people who are ready to pass agendas or the motions that are favoring Shah. And if you have such a parliament, it means that in that country there's no democracy. So the prime minister were usually had picked personal favorites, and ministers were mostly young, Western educated, and they prepared to accept the Shah leadership. So look at this. This is a person who is only looking at how I can remain in power by making sure everybody under him cannot question his leadership. And in fact, under such a system, the main political party, which was known as Miriam, Ilan, Novin, and Madom, became a sham and was sometimes referred to as the yes and the yes, sir, and yes, arrow, yes, of course, parties. You know, such people, they are now, it's like now, whatever the government, whatever the president says, they cannot question. We call them the yes people. And they cannot say no to anything, because maybe for them they are given allowances, they are given some money or some petty things here and there. And we find under such a system, there is no more democracy. What we can refer to as the way we call the Iraq government, that is a dictatorial government, or we call it the totalitarian government. So nevertheless, in March 1975, the Shah decided to establish a one-party state, declaring the existence of new resurgent party as the only party in that country. Look, he had preparing it from 1975 backward. He had been preparing his people to change the democratic government to a one-party dictatorship government. So with this, do you expect those opposers to have anywhere to hear their grievances? That is no. So it immediately began marking new enemies for the Shah regime by waging an anti-profiteering campaign in the bazaar and attacking the clerical establishment. What does it mean? It means that immediately the country became a one-party state, they started eliminating those we call the enemies of the government. And those enemies of the government, they were either removed from power, removed from their offices, and the like. And one of the more insensitive acts of the new party was to introduce a new imperial calendar, which supplanted the Muslim calendar. For many years, they were using the Muslim calendar. You know, the Muslim calendar has different dates with the modern calendar. But this Shah made sure that he has changed the calendar to fit what he wanted. So Iran changed the overnight from a Muslim year, 1355, to the imperial year, which was reading 2535. So the opposition to the Shah rule was rooted out by the new intelligence servants of the secret police known as SAFAK. So we want to look at this SAFAK. Why are people now calling themselves SAFAC. We call them secret police. When you have secret police in a country, that is the worst thing a country can ever have. Because even when you are talking, you fear whom you are talking to, because he may be a police wearing a civilian, and the next day you hear you are already jailed. So this one was a set in order those people who are opposing the government can be captured by this new intelligence service or the secret police. So they established in 1957 with the help of the FBI and the Israel Mossad. It expanded into an organization of 5,000 agents and a known number of informers. That's why I've said now this one created fear among the people, because you don't know who among the 5,000 is in your area. These informers, you don't know them. So their task was to act as the eye and ear of the Shah. So whatever is said outside there, the Shah could get it before the end of the day. So to impose censorship and to screen government and the university appointment, that was the responsibility given to this SAFAC. So when anything is said by the citizen, at the end of the day, you hear it, the president is already aware of it. So when they want to air anything on the media, the censorship came in, because under this SAFAC, they were able to know what is being aired, and they could even hijack it before it's being aired, and people are made aware of what is happening in the country. So the sentiment at autocratic and repressive government. So we want to know how people now started feeling bad about this autocratic government or repressive government, as we call it. So we find SAFAC became known for its brutal tactic, including torture, forced confession, and summary execution. Let me tell you, in this world, if there is something that can make someone become irrelevant, it's when you're forced to confess something even you don't know, something even you have not done. And therefore, you find so many people, they were executed because of mistake that they did not do. That was the work of the SAFAC. So yet, despite the ever-widening hatred for this regime and its method the Shah was using, the Shah authorized the relaxation of police control in 1977, when people aired their grievance in the media, in the newspaper, some writing funny things, some demonstrating. Now, he said, now I've relaxed the police control. Remember, the people who are secret police, we don't know whom they are. Are they going to remove them or they are not? So that was a big question or a big problem, whereby people did not like the Shah regime because of these secret police and all these changes that he brought that did not favor the common citizen. So this was largely a response to increased international condemnation of human rights violation within Iran. So he's trying to impress the international forum, where when they condemn what is happening, he just relaxed one or two changes, then he go back. So he also agreed to release a number of political prisoners, allow the Red Cross into prison, and introduce measures to ensure a fair in the court. So the concession gave a massive boost to the opposition group, who immediately became more evident and focal, issuing newsletters, publishing manifestos, and forming new organization of the protest. So after Shah was really pressurized by the international forum, he's bringing some few changes, and those changes, they are working for the better of the opposers, because now they could publish some newspapers, some manifestos, airing the ills of the government. But remember, from 1975, 1976, the government has really become very strong. So the Shah had obviously hoped that a tactical retreat would save the monarchy, and that's why he's trying to change a few things here and there in order to remain in power. So instead, it unleashed an unstoppable wave of mass protest. So people started protesting day in, day out, looking for ways to remove Shah from the government. So in our next episode, we are going to see now people have protested. what is going to happen after now Shah has been removed from the government, and let's meet in our next lesson knowing what will happen to Shah after all this condemnation. The way people they don't want Shah, what will happen from there. Let's meet in our next lesson. Thank you.